All right, welcome back to Pondering Thoughts with Nida Jawed. We are in conversation with Miss Shahida Qureshi, my favorite auntie, and I am so grateful that she's here to share her journey, challenges, and how she kept herself motivated through the transitional period of after losing her husband. So many of our sisters who are going through the similar experience, similar transition, can learn from her strength and her story. So I know before the break we discussed a lot, and you shared how the society's pressure were and how you chose to stick to your grounds and not fall victim to what society was telling you. So you have chosen to remain single, number one, and be devoted to your family, which includes your support system of your mom, your daughters, and your work. So what made these decisions relevant, or remaining single relevant, where we are told, especially in our culture, that we need a man to take us through it?
Marriages where men are alive, my sisters who have their husbands, my daughters who have their husbands, should cherish each little moment of their lives with them. Living a single life is not easy at all. It is you yourself against the challenges of life. So, marriage itself is an institution, should be praised and respected as one. First of all, now like times have changed. But I remember in my times, I loved polishing my husband's shoes. Not because he was my husband or because it was something that I had to do. It's something because I liked him to look great. I admired him in his pressed shirts that I used to iron. I admired him in the color combinations that he wore. I admired in the polished shoes he wore. Not because it was my duty or not because he thought that I had to do it for him. Not at all like that. We have to live through this feeling for each other. And I was so blessed that I had a relationship something like this, which during my days when I had to live my life alone, I never ever felt. I had to share with you little moments of happiness. We didn't have to go out and buy very expensive things for each other. I used to, whenever he used to carry his lunches to work, I would paste some, lovable messages inside it. And I remember it was such an exciting moment for me when he would come back home and I would open his lunchbox, because there were colleagues who used to do Avon, publishings, selling items there at work. He would buy my favorite Avon lipsticks, shades, and I would open and I find these things, in his lunchbox. These are little tokens of love that you share. Doesn't have to be diamonds, or doesn't have to be gold, but these are the moments that you need to cherish. I remember I just entered from work one day and I see on a light lamp so many shirts hanging. He just picked up the colors that I liked, and I was so shocked to see that he knew. So, this is the relationship that a husband and a wife have to carry. This is actually, somewhere we've lost, I feel, in the struggle that we say it's a struggle of life. It's not a struggle of life that you're putting through. No doubt the times are more expensive now. To raise your kids are more expensive now. But even then the salaries were not that much. So compared to what salaries you're earning now, and compared to what salaries we were earning in 70s, it probably comes up to the same. It's just the feeling within you yourself of respect and love that you have to have for each other. And that is one thing, because I cannot look back and think of any sad moments in my life. Probably that kept me going. I always remember good moments. I was blessed by the Almighty Allah. I guess that just kept me going.
So the experiences you shared, the doing things for your spouse, the share of gestures and the share of love, showing in little things, those tiny memories kept you going and made that decision of just devoting yourself to your family, your daughters, your work that much easier because
Yeah.
you had a good, solid marriage to fall on. That is the memories of it. Memories of a husband who gave you the skill of the life to carry yourself through.
Exactly.
And it's great. And this is something we all should try to bring in our marriage as well. Give without expectations.
Yes, that's one thing. The only thing that probably I feel that hurts me the most probably is my own expectations out of people.
Yeah.
So do without expectations and see and leave the rewards to Almighty Allah.
Of course. And it's a great lesson to learn, and we all should implement that regardless of our challenges, because once we know how to show gratitude, be grateful, and leave it all up to Allah, anything that is beyond our control, things will ease up. Because I like to believe that our life is preparing us for what is to come.
Definitely, definitely. We have to enjoy to the fullest. I don't say, religion does not teach you not to enjoy to your fullest. But at the same time, do not leave from the path of religion. Do not drift away from the path of faith in Allah. Do not think that you're the only source who's trying to do this or battle this. You are not. Actually, this is all, I feel your life is already pre-structured, pre-planned for you. So what you're doing is something that Allah wants you to do. And be good to the mankind. Have good feelings within yourself. Have faith in Allah. And make Him, lovable that He chooses you for all these challenges.
Make Allah fall in love with me or us
Yes,
together.
yes.
Regardless, and He got us covered. And now I realize that Islam and having faith gets most of us through everything, but our culture, there's no denying that it puts barriers and tries to create obstacles where you have to push through to get to the other side. Especially the ladies I speak with, they share that in the culture they are kept isolated from happy gatherings, or they cannot be part of a wedding or come close to the bride because of the unfortunate that has taken place beyond her control with her. The event that happened in her life, which is grief, and she's trying to overcome this, but she's kept away from happy gatherings as well.
So very true, Nida. I just remembered a memory flashed back that I was attending a wedding of one of my relatives when my mother quietly, pulled my hand and made me sit in the, seat beside her. वो जो एक रस्म होती है कि 7 सुहागनों को सहरा लगाया जाता है. So, things like these, probably you just have to accept them. And if somebody is happy in his belief, let them be. Don't be disturbed by it. That's what I learned from my mother. She said, it is their belief. It doesn't happen. If you're part of there on the stage, whatever fate the bride is going to face is already there in her fate.
Right.
But you're right. The culture sometimes overwhelms. And I remember my mother very strongly, placed me back in the seat. And I realized that, yes, okay, where somewhere you have to take a step back. It's okay. You can't win the world.
And you don't have to carry the burden of the whole world on your shoulders.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
So this is very unique because from the story you said your mom was a model. She had gone through the similar experiences you did. The fact that she held you and pulled you back because she knew what was coming, what could have been said to you. So she actually protected you.
Yes, that's
from what
true.
was coming.
That's true. That's true. Very true. She was the one. I think she was a strong pillar behind my back. And from her I learned a lot.
That is amazing. And mothers know best, and at that point I believe she became that
Yeah.
pillar for you. She protected you from before even encountering a negativity that could
That's
make you feel otherwise.
Yes, that would have put me into a bad situation, or somebody if asked me to, leave the stage because you're not a Sohagan. So, she protected me ahead of time. And this is where we have to believe and rely on the experiences of our own parents. That I feel, generation now has to learn. The generation now is drifting away from it. They probably believe that yours was the old time. This is the new era. There's nothing like that. There is no new era and there are no old times. We are passing through changes in life, yes. But the values of life remain the same. And the respect for each other remains the same, no matter which era or which times you live in. Your parents are your parents, and you have to strongly believe in their experiences and their teachings.
I agree, and I just believe that your poetic side just came out too. It was so beautiful. It really was captivating, and my whole thought was actually imagining the whole scenario as you were saying it. So thank you for that. And yes, at the end of the day, our parents do know better because they have experienced things that we may not have yet. And for you, most definitely, it came to be that what your mom had experienced came handy to evolve through using her guidance through this transition. And we just learned that she protected you in forms where you never had to or did not have to in that moment encounter any negativity. But in moments she was not there with you, were there comments said to you that were hurtful, that people said without even second guessing? They never tasted their words before they said those.
Well, there are moments when people do talk. But again, I think I was blessed that I didn't have a very large social gathering. Wherever I moved with the family, and my best friend was my mother. I never had a group of girlfriends that you would say, or a best friend that you would say. Probably my mindset was a different mindset, and I worked all the way through. So and I loved my work. So most of my time during the day, when probably other housewives would be subjected to other environments, I was subjected to a different and challenging environment and came back home. So I remember, my mother would say, like, my girls were in their teens now, marriageable ages, and my mother would stop me and say, कोई तुम्हारी बेटियों से शादी करने नहीं आएगा, किसी से मिलती नहीं हो, किसी के घर जाती नहीं हो, कौन रिश्ता लेकर आएगा? But then again, this is the faith. Whatever has been written out for them will be done. It's not me who is doing anything. I don't have to, because you have to believe in Almighty Allah. So I am blessed with, I didn't have sons, but I'm very proud to say now that I'm blessed with son-in-laws that are more close to me that what even a son would have been.
That is amazing. And alhamdulillah for all the positivity you pulled through, and it all gravitated towards you and your daughters. Alhamdulillah for that. Now you did mention that there were people who would say often, but you did not tell us the comments. However, I'll just not even make you remember that. But let me ask you this. For those specific people who would comment or who would petty you or say anything, if they are alive at this time and age, they have seen you go through this life, they see you now, what is their perception now? What are they saying now? The same people, if you ever got to know.
Well, my thinking is a lot different. I cannot think the way they would think.
Right.
But I'm sure they would be happy to see me. That I pulled out of my struggle with the help of Almighty Allah and with a strong faith in Him. And this faith, actually, my father comes from a very pious family where, we believe in Peer Muridi and all that. So at a very young age, we were subjected to all of these environments. And we always saw a father early morning of the hours, standing and doing his tasbih. And I remember as a child, a halo of spirit would be around him when he was doing this tasbih. So, he made sure, he didn't ever force us or scolded us or anything. We were 8 brothers and sisters, but we knew there was a sense of respect for our father, that we used to have radios in our house at that time. So any time we would hear the car rolling in the garage, one of us will shoot towards the radio and lower the volume or turn off the radio. Not that we were told to do that,
right,
but this is the respect we saw for our father, that our mother prevailed and kept it. And same thing, I guess, was something I carried in my life. A courage, a respect, a man. अल्लाह ताला ने भी मर्द को एक मुकाम दिया है, मगर इस मुकाम को गलत नहीं लेना चाहिए. इस मुकाम को अपना बेहतरीन दोस्त लेना चाहिए और अपना बेहतरीन साथी लेना चाहिए. और जिस तरह से एक औरत की ख्वाहिश होती है कि एक मर्द के साथ उसकी सारी ख्वाहिशात पूरी हों, इसी तरह मर्द का फ़र्ज़ बनता है कि वह औरत की हर ख्वाहिश का ख्याल रखे, हर ख्वाहिश का. मगर ये है कि नहीं, मतलब मैं उनको भी ब्लेम नहीं करती, मर्दों को भी आजकल के ब्लेम नहीं करती कि चैलेंजेस इतने हो गए हैं, बहुत हो गए. इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू अर्न $1 और वेरी ईजी फॉर अस टू स्पेंड इट. Very easy for us to spend it, within the environment we move in. So इसीलिए कहते हैं कि बहुत दानिशमंदी और बहुत समझदारी से, अपने, अगर आप नहीं कमाती हैं, आपका शौहर कमाता है, तो ये ज़रूर सोचिएगा कि अगले दिन के लिए आपको कुछ सेव करना है. ये जो रैट रेस और कॉम्पिटिशन्स होते हैं, we should, थोड़ा सा सही है, बहुत ज़्यादा हर चीज़ के लिए ख़राब है.
Everything is good in moderation.
Yeah, in moderation.
आपने कहा पैसे की value, because it takes, for men's side, it
Yes,
takes a lot,
yes.
especially if he's willing to spend on the wife, to know the hard work goes behind it.
Yes.
It's something to consider.
Yeah.
Of course.
We should respect that. We should respect that. He puts too many man hours to put the bread on the table for you to go, shopping. Right. So, either you're shouldering his responsibilities, well and good. If you're not, you're a blessed one. So be respectful, cherish that, and be thankful to Almighty Allah.
So here I'm just gonna ask a question which is a little bit different from what I had prepared. So speaking of money, I know you're a career-oriented woman and you've worked for 35 years. So the value of men's hard work, all of that may be instilled in you and all working women, because knowing how hard it takes. And for a woman today, obviously, she's trying to compete with men when it comes to pay, when it comes to recognition, when it comes to equality. But working same man hours, working with the same strength, most women learn the value of money itself. But when you were working, it was because it was your passion. It was not with an intention to compete with any men in your environment, correct? Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah. That's true. Money is not that important in a relationship. No matter how much a wife earns or how much a husband earns. This is, I might say, औलाद, पैसा और शादी जो है, 3 चीज़ें अल्लाह ताला की अता की हुई हैं. इसमें आपका कोई दखल नहीं है, कोई मेहनत नहीं है, कुछ करना नहीं है. अल्लाह ताला ने जो आपको पैसा दिया है, आपके नसीब में लिखा है, उसमें से कोई ₹1, $1 निकाल नहीं सकता. और किसी में कोई ताकत नहीं है कि वो, आप खुद में इतनी ताकत नहीं है कि अपने उस दिए हुए पैसे में ₹1, $1 ऐड कर सके. तो अगर बीवी ये सोचे कि भाई मैं तो PhD हूँ, मेरा मियाँ तो कम कमाता है, तो ये अल्लाह ताला का अता किया हुआ है, उसको 2 सेकंड नहीं लगते कि वो चीज़ें आपसे لے لے. تو آپ کو دعا کرنی چاہیے کہ اللہ تعالیٰ نے جو آپ کو نعمتیں عطا کی ہیں کبھی اس نہج پہ نہ لے کر آئے آپ سے کہ آپ کو اس آزمائش میں ڈالے, وہ آپ سے آپ کی نعمتیں لے. تو یہ جو کانسیپٹ ہوتا ہے پیسے کا, never let that come into your head. Never ever. It is important. Yes, I agree with you. Important to run a luxury life. Even luxury should be to a limit. یہ نہیں ہے کہ مجھے ہر فنکشن میں ایک نیا جوڑا پہننا ہے, نئی جیولری پہننی ہے, نئے جوتے پہننے ہیں. ان کو بھی تو دیکھو جن کے پاس اللہ تعالیٰ نے نہیں دیا ہوا. یہ ہمارے لیے امتحان ہے. پیسہ ایکچولی آپ کو اس لیے نہیں دیا گیا ہے کہ آپ عیاشی کریں. پیسہ آپ کو اس لیے دیا گیا ہے کہ یہ آپ کے لیے امتحان ہے کہ آپ کتنا اللہ تعالیٰ کو اپنے پیسے میں ساتھی بناتے ہیں, کتنا آپ خیرات و زکوٰۃ کرتے ہیں, اپنے آس پاس جو لوگ ہیں ان کی آپ کتنی مدد کرتے ہیں. مگر آج کل کے زمانے میں می اینڈ مائی ورلڈ الون, مائی اسپیس, مائی دس, مائی, وہ جو مائی ہے نا وہ نکلنے کی ضرورت ہے زندگی میں سے.
آئی تھنک زندگی میں اس وقت مائی زیادہ ہو گیا ہے اور اس
جی
کم ہو گیا ہے.
بالکل, اس کم ہو گیا ہے.
So, inshallah,
وی
hope
اینڈ
we all
اس,
thrive for it.
وی اینڈ اس, یہ ہونا چاہیے. کیونکہ اگر آپ یاد رکھیں کہ یہ حدیث بھی ہے کہ آپ کا اگر ہمسایہ بھوکا سو گیا ہے
جی
تو اس میں آپ کی پوچھ ہوگی. اور جب یہ جائیداد کا بٹوارا ہو رہا تھا اور اس کے لاز بن رہے تھے تو لوگوں کو خدشہ تھا کہ اللہ تعالیٰ ہمسایوں کا اتنا حق لکھ دے گا کہ شاید آپ کی جائیداد میں سے ان کو دینا پڑ جائے. تو آج ہم بھول گئے ہیں ان تمام ویلیوز کو لائف کی, تو ہم اوور لک کر جاتے ہیں ان چیزوں کو.
Of course, and it's a very good thing to remember. Now, back to how we are discussing, finances are a very crucial part of living a good life, let's say, or sustainable life even. In an event that, and in majority of the households, man is the breadwinner. اور اللہ پاک سب کے جن کے ہسبینڈس ہیں
آمین
سلامت رکھیں.
آمین ثم آمین.
In an event that there is an instance where a husband does pass away and a woman then she needs to get out of the house, she needs to work, and all that stuff becomes mandatory with that once she fought for. In that event, of course the financial challenges, I'm sure you had faced some too, if you would like to discuss and how you overcame those initially.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, like I was blessed, probably I must say, that soon after I came to Pakistan, I went to Saudi Arabia. I earned there, and I did a pre-planning, of how to save my money, how to invest my money in gold, because I knew I had 2 girls, so I had to marry. And alhamdulillah, I was blessed by Allah Almighty that I was able to, marry my girls, to give them things to my heart's content, and never had to borrow any money from anywhere.
And that
So
alone is a blessing.
so this is why you need to plan yourself ahead of time. There when I had to cut down on my own spendings, I never remember, many times matching clothes. اگر شلوار صحیح ہے تو قمیض بنا لی, قمیض صحیح ہے تو شلوار دوپٹہ دوسرا کر لیا. I kept saving like that. So I am not fond of branded clothes. I am not fond of branded jewelries. I am not fond of branded perfumes. اب تک میں شیمپو سے نہیں مگر جو امپیریل لیدر ہے اس سے سرد ہوتی ہوں. So not saying that I couldn't afford it, because there was nobody to ask me how much I spent. تو میری اپنی ایک عادت تھی کہ اگر میں نے بینک سے کوئی پیسہ نکالا ہے تو I put it in an envelope, اور اس کے بعد میں جتنے پیسے خرچ کرتی تھی میں لکھتی تھی اپنا حساب. آج میں نہیں دیکھتی کوئی بندہ یہ کرتا ہے.
صحیح بات ہے.
اور اگر میں نے 20,000 روپیہ نکالا ہے اور میں نے ڈیلی کتنا خرچ کیا ہے, اور اگر اس میں سے 5 روپے بھی میرے کم پڑ رہے ہوں تو مجھے ساری رات سوچنا پڑتا تھا کہ 5 روپے میرے گئے کہاں میں نے خرچ کیے. سو اٹ از لائک یو کیپ اے حساب آف ایوری تھنگ. نتھنگ از انلمیٹیڈ. मगर अब तो खैर यहाँ पे क्रेडिट कार्ड का ज़माना है, तो आपको पैसे नज़र ही नहीं आते हैं कि आपने क्या खर्चा किया.
So from your story, what I'm getting is, number one, you kept yourself accountable.
I did. Definitely I did.
Number two, because there was no one to check on you, you took upon the responsibility to secure your future.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
So these are two crucial things that, I'm not gonna lie, we are lacking.
Yeah.
Because we know somebody is there to take care of everything else. We kind of dismiss ourselves from being accountable for our own, what we bring in, or what we are doing in our relationship or in our life per se. And then different interests. You mentioned you like jewelry a lot, but then you took a step back.
Yeah.
And just improvised when it was okay. One item is good. You just go get what is needed.
What is
instead of
needed?
spending lavishly on your wants.
That's very true. And I'm not against branded clothes. I'm not against branded perfume. But अगर अतर काम कर सकता है तो क्या ज़रूरत है Chanel buy करने की?
ये भी सही. And for someone who's going through this transition, सबके शोहर की वजह से, I would think that especially in our culture, marriage is a institution.
Yes.
And men are put in as the head of it. So in an event that men are no longer in a woman's life, because majority of the women are not trained with life skills, like you mentioned earlier in the interview, that they're not coming with those life skills from their home. They're trained to do housework, कि ससुराल जाके क्या करोगी, but not so much how to deal with life outside, which of course in today's day and age is changing. Women are coming from outside and they don't know how to do housework.
नहीं, मेरी जब शादी हुई तो मेरे ससुर भी नहीं थे और सास भी नहीं थी. मगर हमारे मेरे ख्याल में तब का कल्चर बहुत सिंपल था. मुझे याद है जब मुझे रुखसत किया गया तो किसी ने ये नहीं पूछा था मेरे घर में कि आप बहू लेके जा रहे हैं, इसको रखेंगे कहाँ, है ना. कोई नहीं. आज तो पहले पूछा जाता है कि उसका कमरा है, उसके कमरे को फर्निश करना है, उसको पर्दे डालने हैं, तो बेडरूम सेट देना है और कहाँ सोएगी. उस वक्त ये नहीं था, मगर कुदरत अपना इंतज़ाम करती है. मुझे याद है जब मैं रुखसत होकर आई हूँ तो वो किराए का घर था जिसमें कदीर और उनके बड़े भाई रहते थे. बड़े भाई तो टर्की में होते थे, वो तभी वापस आए थे. और एक ड्राइंग रूम था जिसमें एक पर्दा डाल के डाइनिंग टेबल बाहर रख दी गई थी और मेरा बेडरूम बन गया था. Nobody, my family did not raise an eyebrow. Nobody asked the question. और मुझे याद है even I never thought, कि मैं कहाँ लेटी हूँ, कहाँ सो रही हूँ. It was the love and the culture around you that made you feel comfortable. I was blessed with a very educated and a very accommodatable Susral also.
That's good.
Alhamdulillah.
And we have some questions coming up that are with in-laws as well. Now, when we speak of love, the ladies I got to speak with, they said after the dismissal of their husband, after they departed, after he left the world, they still felt his presence around them. And it became really hard to sleep on the same bed, be in the same house. So some women chose to go back to their, even though they have their own property, go back to their family for a little while till they got used to it. Anything like this happen with you?
Well, it is, the strength was given to me by my husband. So this is what I cherished all my life. So, yes, I always felt him around me. Even today, I talk good about him. I don't have a moment that I can say, that I felt. It's not that we didn't argue on things, we did. But we made it a rule in our life. I must let this secret out to you, that we never go to bed without saying sorry to each other.
That's a beautiful memory to keep.
Yeah.
And
wake up the next day, everything is normal.
That's good. And the part to cherish the small things, go to bed saying, don't go to bed angry, I guess.
Yeah, don't go to bed angry.
That's
and let that anger drift over weeks, make a partition between the two of you. You should not.
Exactly. And it pays to be a good man. You saw that this man is cherishing you. He's doing things for you without you even asking, because you mentioned he would buy clothes of your favorite color.
Yeah.
Or he would care for the tiniest of things, not making you feel as if you were not important. He gave you value. Likewise, you gave him value too,
Yeah.
by doing little things like pressing his shirt or polishing his shoes. It was the value you guys gave each other
Yes.
that made his presence an important part of your life throughout, which I'm assuming made the decision of devoting yourself to family, daughters, and job more easier.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, we're learning so much today, especially the value we bring into our relationship is what will sustain it.
Yeah.
So that's a great lesson to remember. And speaking of memories, I will just ask one question before we take a quick break. What is your best memory of him?
Like I shared with you the gifts that he used to bring. I shared with you that we made a promise to each other that we will never ever, go to bed angry. And, he was a best friend to me. I could talk on any issue. We had family gatherings where we used to go, but he always supported me throughout, and I supported him also.
That is amazing. All right, guys, you have got a lot to comprehend, think, and ponder over. Till we get connected again, let's take a quick break, and I'll see you in a little bit.